Hello, my name is Paweł Teodorczyk and I'm Solution Engineer at Parasoft. Today I will show you how you can collect API coverage and functional test coverage using Parasoft SOAtest. For this purpose, we'll be exercising camping equipment demo app, which is backed up by an extensive REST API, which is defined within OpenAPI service definition file. In Parasoft SOAtest, I have created a collection of tests using that OpenAPI definition. A separate test has been created for each and every method endpoint combination, meaning that for this particular endpoint, we are getting a separate test for get and post method. As I execute those tests, I can see a progress over here. As all the tests have been executed, I will generate an HTML report to view the results within a web browser. This is the summary of all the tests executed, and this is the API coverage that we are getting from this test execution. I can further break it down to see the coverage of each endpoint and also each method defined for each endpoint. So we are treating each method defined within an endpoint as a separate API. This way I can be sure that none of the APIs defined in a service definition file skips my attention in the testing process. As I execute those tests, I can also send the results to the reporting platform. In this reporting platform, I will find out how many lines of code have been covered by the functional tests that I have executed. I can furthermore break it down to the class level and then down to the method and line level. So here I can see all the lines of code that have been covered by my functional tests. But I can also view it the other way around. That is, I can take my functional test and see the coverage associated with that particular test. In this case, for my test 3, I am getting nearly 20% of coverage for my code base. On top of that, I can combine the code coverage numbers that I'm getting from functional testing with code coverage numbers that I am getting from unit testing or basically any other testing practice. This combined coverage makes it easy for me to identify potential coverage gaps within my code base. Looking at those numbers separately, I would not be able to do that. That's it from my side. Thank you for your attention. Feel free to visit parasoft.com to get more details on that.